Welcome to Texas. I once heard the whole world's population could fit inside this one state, but I didn't believe it. Sure, maybe the population of the United States could fit in there, but the whole world?
No way. No way. Yes way, Ted!
As it turns out, we could actually all fit in a state or country only a third the size of Texas, as I'll explain later. There are currently about 8.2 billion people in the world. It's estimated that by the year 2050, there will be 9.7 billion people, which has led some to fear the possibility of overpopulation and demand that we find a new planet to call home.
Too much garbage in your face? There's plenty of space out in space.
So let's make this interesting and round up to an even 10 billion. With 10 billion people, assuming a family of 4 in each home, we would need to have 2.5 billion homes, which is way more houses than you get in a box of Monopoly. Texas has just over 261,000 square miles of land, which equals out to just over 165 million acres. To build 2.5 billion homes on that land would require lots that are 0.06 acres or 2,913 square feet. Given that the median size of a single-family home in the United States in 2024 was only 1,792 square feet, each family could have a house with a small yard and fit within Texas. However, this math does not account for roads, stores, and other vital infrastructure. And the homes would be very close together, so there's always a risk of teenage Taylor Swift checking in on you through your window. In other words, we need to make some adjustments. If we take our 10 billion people and divide them evenly over Texas's 261,000 square miles of land, we get a population density of roughly 38,000 people per square mile. But our giant city doesn't have to be in America. We could go to France, which, at 247,000 square miles, is just under the size of Texas. Admittedly, some of that is French territory and the land is overseas, but if we take it as a whole for simplicity's sake, we can have a population density of about 40,000 people per square mile. Whether we choose to use Texas or France, this population density is close to that of Brooklyn, a borough of New York City, which shows we could live here while also having stores, roads, utilities, and everything else we need. There's even room for green space, as you can see from the parks on this map.
The entire planet is one big city.
But that's not all. Brooklyn is not the most densely populated area of New York City. That title belongs to Manhattan, at nearly 75,000 people per square mile. Unless you think we're going to be packed in there like sardines, please note that Manhattan is home to Central Park, with nearly 1.5 square miles of green space. If we brought everyone in the world together at Manhattan's population density, we could fit everyone in Montana or even Germany, which are both about half the size of Texas. Montana is called Big Sky Country for a reason. And Germany is the birthplace of bratwurst, which I consider to be delicious. But we can still do more with less. One of the cities with the highest population density in the world is Manila in the Philippines, where they house nearly 120,000 people per square mile. At that density, we would only need around 80,000 square miles to house everyone, which is only a third the size of Texas or France. This means we could go to Oregon, which is 2.7 times smaller than Texas. Oregon offers a temperate climate along with beautiful mountains and lakes. But even Oregon's footprint is excessive, as Idaho and Utah are closer to the 83,000 square miles we need, each with a little bit of overflow, and they're not even a third the size of Texas. Both have beautiful landscapes, and the current residents are very nice, though I should note that many of them have a message they would like to share with you. Outside of the United States, we could choose to gather together in Romania or Ghana. Both are 2.8 times smaller than Texas, and both options look fantastic. Romania offers 4 seasons for people who like a distinct summer and winter.
I want to go to there.
Ghana, on the other hand, offers a more tropical climate near the equator, if you're not someone who cares for snow.
Yo, where you going?
Huh?
Where you going?
I'm going back to Africa.
Africa?
Am I suggesting that we all move in together? No. But look how much empty space would remain in the world if we did. However, as one last experiment, let's assume that not everyone wants to live in a massive city full of one skyscraper after another. What if we tried fitting everyone in a larger country to allow a little more spreading out? For this situation, we'll avoid Russia and Canada, as I don't want to see comments from people not wanting to live in the frozen tundra. But if we chose to all live in China, or the 48 contiguous United States, we could house everyone at around 2,700 to 3,200 people per square mile. That is the equivalent of living in a city like Albuquerque, New Mexico, with a population density of just over 3,000 people per square mile. Albuquerque, aside from being a city Weird Al Yankovic sang about for over 11 minutes, gives us an idea of what a mix of high-rise buildings and suburban homes would look like, while fitting the whole world into one larger country, and leaving the rest of the world to be used for farming and other resources. Obviously, this video is just a thought experiment. Please don't post comments saying it isn't feasible to move everyone to Texas, France, or another place. I already know that. This is just to show that there's plenty of room in the world, and we're not anywhere near the point of overpopulation some doomsdayers have claimed. Admittedly, there are some problems to address to allow humans to continue to thrive on this planet, as we need to reduce pollution and better manage our resources. Nevertheless, if we're wise stewards of the Earth, I believe we can continue to thrive regardless of how our population grows, because the world is far larger and more bountiful than we give it credit for.